who is Shenita Kaweian from Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences from Yala Rajabat University, Thailand. Hi, hello. And the title is Connecting Practical Theories and Practices of Teaching Grammar in CLT, English Language Student Teachers Practicum Experiences in Southernmost Thailand. Ms. Shenita, the floor is yours. Can you please unmute? I think you've muted, Ms. Shenita.
Oh, thank you.
Right, we can hear you now. Would you like to share your presentation?
Yes, I share it already. Can you see it?
Yeah, I think it's just getting there. Right, okay, we can see.
Yeah.
You want to put it on slide share? Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. Hello, Professor. Hello, all participants today. I'm very pleased to be here today. Okay, first of all, I would like to tell you, this is my title, okay? I would like to tell you first about my personal rationale of conducting this research, because I'm the English language teacher at first for last almost 18 years. At first, I work as an English language teacher and then turned to be a teacher educator for the English language student that I would call them student teacher right now, from now on. And since I started working as teacher educator in 2004, and we have the 5-year program of the teacher education. Because the last 5 years, the final year, for 1 full year, they would conduct school-based practicum for 1 full year. This is, I think, is rely on the experiential learning theory that would add up the real experience for the teacher in order that to promote their ability to teach. So I would like you to know my focus of the study. And as I said, because I'm an teacher educator, and I think it's my duty because I train them about the theory in the college, in the teacher college. And I have to monitor them to work and in the field work. In this context, that they place their initial practicum and they have to try their first experience as a real teacher there. Even they are not the real one, I may say the pre-Soviet teacher. In that context, I have to see how they can apply theory and interact with that context and then apply theory into practice in reality. How effective they can do that is my full job of responsibility to support them and to know how effective they can do it. Okay, so may I share you what's going on about the English language teaching in Thailand? As we know that in Thailand, we don't use English in the real life, in daily life, not like in Malaysia that people use it as second language. In Thailand, since 2008, there's a great change in English language teaching because the Ministry of Education, they issued the curriculum for basic education level that cover from primary year 1 to secondary year 6, and we can call as primary level to secondary level student. This curriculum, they focus on the prime learning goal is language for communication. But some may not feel that what language is not just for communication. Yes, but not in the context of Thailand, that because learner and teacher see it as a subject, not the tool for communication. So I know why the policymaker that issued this as the priority, as the main area that the student have to achieve. So what the effect of this and the need the teacher to teach in the way that supporting to help the learners to achieve communicative competence, because the Ministry of Education also issued a handbook. As you can see in the slide, one I just captured one page of the handbook in one full chapter that they have communicative language teaching, or I will say in short, CLT. For this chapter, I think it's relevant for the teacher to use as a resource book for them when they apply this concept of CLT into practice in their English language classroom. And because I scope my focus to see only grammar, because grammar is one topic, one popular topic among the teacher, among the researcher of English language here. There's most study found that the teacher focus overemphasis on the grammar. Maybe this would cause the learner or the student cannot be able to use the language for communication at all. So now we can see the concept of grammar with CLT, what's like. The grammar with CLT, I have to say for the CLT need, you have to include grammar as one of the important components. We don't like overlook grammar at all, but grammar should be in different position. I may say the different position, not like the traditional grammar translation that the teacher use. The grammar should be the implicit or indirect role. You have to present it indirectly, implicitly. What is like? For example, you have to make it like this. I will show you. The class will be like not like this, because this like this is grammar translation. The student interact with the rules grammar, how to transfer the grammar from one thing to one another thing. And what students do a lot is to do grammar exercise, not to practice communication. In fact, grammar in CLT should be like this. The class should be like a lot of communicative activity, but if you like to teach grammar, you have to teach in imprecise way. Some say it's like accidentally. Yes, you can use that word, because whenever you see the student have problem with that grammar, you can insert that grammar teaching, but not overemphasis on that grammar. That will help the student to focus not on grammar, but on how to use that grammar in use for communication. Okay, now I would like you to my context. This is in southern Thailand. Now I'm here in Yala here. This here, I would like to show you is that this area in the dark orange majority speak Malay. It's a Malay dialect, not similar to Malay in Malaysia use, but a bit similar. I could speak Malay a little bit. Makan nasi, some kind of that. And these people, is a majority of them, about 90% of them are Muslim people who speak Malay. And what happened in this for their learning is that, the most of the Muslim home that speak Yawi at home. I call Yawi. Yawi is the dialect name of the southern Thailand Malay. They speak Malay at home. And what's the problem for them when they're going to be like starting learning is that, you can see this, I'm sorry. Yes, here, I'm sorry. Oh, again, I would like to tell you some more about the nature of the language identity of the people there, because their native language is Malay. I mean, the student or the pupil in the school, their native language is Malay. And the second language is Thai. As I told you that they speak Malay most, and they enter the school because the official language, classroom official language in school is Thai. It is not the familiar language because the language is Malay. So it's I think it affects their learning, and many studies have found in the southern province of Thailand have found that the students there have learning underachievement. And some studies have found that these disadvantages that cause their learning ability to lower than the student in other area of Thailand, that because the student in other area, their language, the native language is Thai, and the official custom language is Thai. So, but what the main challenge or my concern for my student teacher is that over than the linguistic disadvantages of this, when this student became student teacher, I think the problem about the language that at first they found when they very young kids is gone, but because they can learn and be capable in Thai language, I can say that my student teacher right now, when they, let's say, after primary 6, maybe they're very keen in Thai also. And now I always tell them that, you know, you are the real bilingual. What does real bilingual mean? Real bilingual means when, okay, I'm the Thai speaker. And when they turn to me, they can speak Thai immediately. And when they turn to their friends, they speak their own language instantly without thinking. I think a little bit code switching needed, but without thinking. So I can say they are balanced bilingual or the real bilingual. This is their advantage. What about the big challenge? This is their gain advantage. But what about disadvantage? Because we are in the area that we don't use English much in daily life. So it's like we have limited exposure or limited chance to use English for communication. But I think this is a common problem of Thai students, not only the Thai student in the area of my bilingual student teacher. And this is quite, I think, very influential for them, because the student teacher have to adopt the reform policy or the curriculum that they have to teach CLT, but they have limited chance to use English for communication.
Are we experiencing some connectivity issue?
The connection is fine here. So I think it's the presenter's connection.
Yes, right. So.
Oh, she came back here.
Yeah, Ms. Shenita, there was a.
Hello, can you hear?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah, there was a little disruption just now. You may continue, please.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Maybe it just last, we should stop about.
Yeah, you have 3 minutes left, Ms. Shenita.
Okay. So I may skip to my study, okay. My study focus on the personal practical theory on how they can apply the CLT theory into practice with these 3 stages of research by exploring the PPT or practical or personal practical theory about CLT in 2 aspects, grammar and error correction. And I have to follow them with the 4 cases to see them teach in a classroom. It's a classroom observation, 12 classroom observation. After that, I think it's not enough to see this, so I have to follow up by exploring their reason and justification for their teaching also. Let's see the finding. As I have told, that this is the self-access of the English competence. You see, this is the result. They see themselves. English competent is very English competent to use English for communication. And they rate themselves in this. Is 30% poor, 52% fair, and 11% good. And what about English use? So you see that 50% like use English in their real life. For about the fighting one, I want to see this one. The overall one for the 26 of them just have the moderate PPT that they're not very inclined to CLT, moderate, not very high. And the focuses, as I pick for the observation, I pick this 4 because it's a critical sample. Critical sample, they have gained the high and very high PPT. This is the reason because I think if they have high PPT in CLT, it's the high possibility that they will apply the CLT in reality. And what in the reality is that if you can see in the red color here, this is the result from the observation. The red color show the grammar focused, the grammar focused class, and in blue is this one is very communicative activity here. I will show you this. This example is the one thing that I call the simulation of KFC restaurant simulation. And this one of the very near natural interaction, very relaxing. One thing that I would point to you, I'm sorry, I have to stop right now. Or?
Yeah, can you just quickly wrap up, please?
Can I help? Yes, okay. You see that the teacher didn't correct anything. They just let the student even they say chicken is not chicken. This is one characteristic of the CLT. This is a near natural one, and the teacher is as a co-speaker. I have to keep to this is not very CLT one. This is very grammar one. You will see the word with the meaning, but anyway, when the teacher deal with this process of teaching, they ask the student to just focus on the pronunciation of the word rather than the meaning. And this is an example of the grammar exercise. And the reason, most of the reason they give us is like English grammar is very important because they grounded the student, their student. If that student is not good in grammar, they cannot communicate well. This is the reason they give to me. Okay, I have some recommendations. Just give me some time. I have this one. Okay, may I skip to this? My recommendation to this is that you can train the student teacher to be good in the theory of knowledge teaching. I mean, their pedagogical knowledge would be a very good one. But anyway, when they interact with the real setting, in the real classroom, because classroom is very complicated. And then nowadays, because we are in the era of the COVID pandemic, and the educational style is changed a lot and changing. We in a changing era. So we have to train them to be. The first one is at number 2, because it's my role as teacher supervisor, to train them to have the self-reflection. This is in my current research, but this is my purpose from the result of this research, to be the self-reflection, to be the reflective practitioner in order that they can reflect themselves, whether or not this one is proper for their teaching in the particular classroom. But for me as a teacher educator, I think I cannot deny it's my full responsibility to help them, to support them, to teach in a very communicative way. So I have to add up not only the theory of teaching, not only the knowledge of teaching, also the skill, which is, I think, reflect the real life setting, to include a lot, for example, real life simulation or scenario for them in order that they can know what is, they can prospect the possible expectation that they will see in the future in the real classroom. Put them, give them more case study and a situation analysis that it help them to be as I say, the reflective practitioner. Like I can learn in the one full second, one round, full one that learn, do, and then reflect, and then adjust, improve, and then they will gain the better one, I think. And I may last by this one because this is changing era, so I hope that we can resume to the classroom and then we can meet our students.
Thank you very much.
So any question?
Right, thank you, Ms. Shenita. Do you have at least one question maybe? I encourage everyone to read the paper. The paper is very interesting and it goes more into, talks more to the methodology and also the findings. Is there any question?
So Dr. Apinan has a question, so please.
Yes, okay. Although some people say that using CLT in classroom is quite old-fashioned this day, but I don't think so. I think that it's still applicable. It's kind of classic approach to teach, right? But the CLT, right? The gist of CLT is that you would like to motivate students to talk in classroom as much as possible. But when you take it into practical, students have different characteristics. Some student introvert, some student extrovert, right? Those who speak will speak a lot. Those who don't want to speak, they will be quiet, right? So how you gonna make sure that you make balance, right? Of those who talkative and those who do not talk a lot in the classroom, to leave some room for those who are shy and you're gonna encourage them to talk a little bit more.
It's hard. Doctor, I see it's very hard because always there are dominant student, right? Dominant student who the good student. But I think a lot of, I can see this a lot because I have to monitor about 40 of student teacher and they sent me the videotape recording and I can found something that I and the student teacher think in the same way that whether less or more, the smart student, who the dominant student can be the role model for the not smart student one. I think in the positive way, because we can, it's hard, doctor, because even in this day that we teach it online, right? It's hard for even the teacher to control and to elicit the student to even say yes, no, okay to them. It's hard, it's quite hard. But I agree that problem always, I think it's a common problem happen in the classroom where the student is quite passive one.
Right. Obviously, it's not just a challenging time for teachers, but also teacher educators. We understand that. Okay. I don't think we have any more time. Thank you very much, Ms. Shenita, for your presentation. Very informative. And like I said, do read the paper. And I'll just now hand the floor to the moderator.
Well, thank you so much. And also thank you for all the presenters for a very insightful presentations. Okay. And also